All right, an outright regular season champion was crowned just a few minutes ago for the first time since joining this wretched league. And it wasn't wretched at the time that they joined it, okay? It became that, but it was not always that. Memphis wins the AAC. We had to wait 12 years for this. 12 long years. My goodness. Memphis gets it done against South Florida. That means that it's over. They were already the 1 seed. They had clinched a share, but now it's official. I believe the final there was 84-66 tonight for the University of Memphis over South Florida. So Rob, I know this 68, excuse me, 84-68 there for Memphis. Rob, I know that this is not obviously a good league whatsoever, but Memphis was not even picked to win it. Memphis was picked second in this league in the preseason. So is that an overachievement by Penny Hardaway, or is that just a sign that people were way, way, way more down on Memphis than they should have been?
Well, I'm just going to start it by saying I think that it's great that Memphis is in the American, and I think they should stay there forever, and I never want to see him leave because I think it's just a great fit.
I mean, what an asshole thing to say. You're terrible. You're absolutely terrible.
For the people listening at home, John Martin,
circle of hell.
John Martin loves the AAC more than anybody on the planet loves the AAC.
Favorite league.
I will say this: I absolutely do think that Penny has overachieved with this team this season, because I think that Memphis is good enough to be able to make a Final Four. And I don't think that's crazy. It's going to be difficult for them because of where they're going to be drawn, but they look like they are going to end up being above that 8-9 game, right? And I think as long as you can kind of avoid that 8-9 game, if you're on the bottom half of the bracket, 7, 10, 3, 6, wherever you are, you're going to have a chance, because I think there's a significant difference between the top 4 teams in the country and the rest of college basketball. Memphis has 2 guards that are absolute killers. PJ Haggerty's a stud, dude. If you have not watched PJ Haggerty play, he gets to the line, he's strong, he's physical. You're not going to knock him off his line when he's trying to get to his spot. He can make threes. Tyrese Hunter, it feels like every shot that he takes, when you're kind of saying to yourself when the ball's in the air, ooh, that's a big one, he probably needs to hit that. It goes in every single time when it's one of those shots. I love what's happened with Dane Danger over the course of the last 5 weeks. You probably have stats on that better than me right now off the top of my head, John. But him turning into a real weapon in the post has given them another dynamic to what they do offensively. They got role players. Colby Rogers can go for 20 in a given night. I think that this is a really, really dangerous Memphis team. And guess what, Matt? Guess what? It looks like they care again. They got a little bit bored in the middle of the season. January was kind of tough. February was kind of tough. But remember, this was the Memphis team that went out to Maui and looked just as good, if not better than Dayton out there. And I'm telling you, man, I think they got the horses. I think they're going to be in the second weekend, and I think they're going to pull off an upset there against somebody. I don't know who it is. If you're Wisconsin, do you want to see Memphis in the second round of the tournament? No, sir.
So I'm just curious, Rob, what was tough? What was tough?
What do you mean?
When you say January was tough,
what was so tough about a team that only lost 2 games in their league, Rob? That's what he's asking. That's what he wants to know.
What was tough? They lost 2 games in the league.
A lot of it wasn't pretty, and what's happened is they went from being a team that was ranked in the top 30, close to the top 25 in KenPom, to now they're going to drop out of the top 50. Depending on what happens with some of this other stuff. They're 49th right now in KenPom. That's what I'm saying. It's their metrics took them from a place where we could have talked about them being a top 4, maybe even a protected seed.
26 wins right now. Mm-hmm. They have 26
wins. I'm telling you. Yeah. Look, I told you. I think they're second.
Here comes the common sense. Here comes the common sense.
I think, again, we have no idea what was going on in terms of his coaching staff. But to make the move that he did before the season, everyone's like, it's not going to work out. It's not working. Don't say everyone.
Say Jeff Goodman.
What is happening here? What is this? No, he made the decision that was look, this is what's best for our program right now. This is what's best for our program right now, and it's paying off. There was something that was wrong. There was a disconnect. And if your staff is not connected, your players are going to see it. They are going to see it. So when you walk in that locker room and you try to preach connectivity, togetherness, all this, your players are going to think you're full of shit. If they see that, what are you talking about, man? We know you guys aren't on the same page. So if you guys aren't on the same page, how are we going to be on the same page? So he made a decision with his back against the wall that's paying off. Credit to Penny for doing it. Credit, for him making that decision when he needed to, and it's paying off dividends. I mean, this is, again, Rob, not a team that you want to see in the second weekend. If you're a higher seed, you don't want to see this squad. 21 assists tonight. They're playing the game the right way. The ball is moving around the floor. They're unselfish. This is a dangerous team.
Yeah, I want to bottom line it by saying that I don't think Jeff Goodman was alone in his skepticism. I mean, that was a cleaning house that took place on September the 4th.
Yeah.
I mean, that just doesn't happen. I mean, so it was unprecedented.
Because he knew, like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
This is the best
100%.
move for our program right now. And that takes some guts. That takes guts to be able to do that.
And he's got support from a new athletic director that came in, and Ed Scott. And I feel like he probably feels like for the first time in his time here that he's truly and 100% supported. And the other thing I would just say before we kick it to break is that whether it's PJ Haggerty, whether it's Tyrese Hunter, whether it's Dane Danger, all these guys came into Memphis and they had career years. I mean, Tyrese Hunter, career year from three. Dane Danger finally getting a starting job. Illinois fans know what he's capable of, right? They got a taste of it off the bench at various. He's come here and he's been unlocked. So I think the residuals for Memphis are huge. If they can just kind of stamp this with a Sweet 16 in a second weekend appearance, I think Memphis can reassert itself as a destination for a lot of these guys because the NIL is there, the development is there. Now you're winning your league. Now you got some tournament success. That's the only thing that's missing for Penny at this point. You've won your conference. You've won your tournament before. Now you have to break through. And obviously, if there are 6, that will be much easier. We shall see. But a nice win symbolically for Memphis tonight to clinch that outright AAC title. They stand alone as conference champs for the first time.